Well, hello everyone and welcome to the cottage. Hope you guys are doing well. We are going to do another pick a number reading. We'll do 3 readings and I will timestamp those in the comments. And so you can certainly pick more than one. So focus on the numbers 1, 2, and 3 and pick one or as many as you would like. This could be for any zodiac sign. So just pick the number or numbers that resonate with you and go ahead and check out those readings. Now if you've not subscribed to my channel, I certainly hope you'll consider doing so. Okay, so with that being said, let's get started with reading number 1. Reading number 1, and let me go ahead and timestamp for that. Reading number 1. All right, reading number 1 is going to be a past, present, and future type reading. I am using the Golden Girls deck that I have started using a little bit lately that I'm really enjoying. There's the 8 of Wands on the bottom of the deck. That certainly has to do with messages possibly coming in, has to do with distance. Typically the timing of those events can be it's typically when you least expect it. It is typically sudden and out of the blue. All right, so we're going to see if that has any significance in your reading for those of you that picked number 1. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with our past, present, and future for reading number 1. All right, so in the past we have the Queen of Cups, the King of Swords, and the 7 of Swords. Then in the current energy, we have 9 of Cups reversed, 4 of Wands reversed, and the 7 of Cups in the upright. And going forward, we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Temperance card, and the Hierophant. Okay, the Hierophant is in the upright going forward, but the Temperance card and the Ace of Pentacles are in reverse. So we're going to talk about this, and of course this is going to be hopefully chock full of some advice that you can use if this is your story. Okay, so in the past, we got the Queen of Cups, King of Swords, and the 7 of Swords. And really, that certainly speaks to a couple with a queen and a king here. Okay, I think that the person, and the 7 of Swords speaks to somebody, excuse me, somebody doing something that seemed shady, possibly sneaky, possibly deceptive. Sometimes the 7 of Swords can speak to somebody who is not the 7 of Swords can speak to somebody who's not fully giving to a connection, okay, where they just are, 1 foot in and 1 foot out, okay, but definitely probably deceptive about that. Okay, certainly for some of you this may have involved somebody who was stepping out, okay, on you, or at least being very flirty with this thing. I think I don't read gender, I read energies. Okay, so with the couple here that's in the past, I believe the Queen of Cups represents your energy where you are all in, you are very nurturing and giving to this person. But sometimes the Queen of Cups can be a little bit naive. Sometimes the Queen of Cups can, if she is not careful, and again, I'm not reading gender, I'm reading energy, but sometimes she can be a little bit naive and she can give a little bit too much of herself to the point of sometimes neglecting herself or himself, whichever the case may be. And the King of Swords can be a little bit cold. Okay, there's a lot of wisdom associated with the King of Cups, but sometimes that can come across as being a little bit of a colder energy. Okay, and so probably some truths came out to that thing. I certainly, in the current energies, we have the 4 of Wands in reverse, the 9 of Cups in reverse, and the 7 of Cups. So whoever I'm talking to, all right, I think what happened, the 4 of Wands certainly can, in the reverse, can certainly speak to endings. It can speak to divorce, or something that was thought to be your ideal, okay, person, and it just didn't pan out the way that you expected. The Nine of Cups in reverse can certainly speak to the same thing. That energy can speak to a couple of different things. It can speak to you realizing that this person that you thought was going to be your end all be all and you thought was exactly what you wanted, was turned out to be exactly what you didn't want, okay? It can also speak to a person who is fickle, okay? So you may have dealt with that, and you're coming to realize that this person there may have been some emotional codependence here as well, okay? Sometimes the Nine of Cups can speak to that, okay? Where one of the two of you was really looking for emotional needs to be met by the other person that really only an individual themselves can meet, okay? The Seven of Cups is in the upright in your current energy. So many of you that I'm reading for are still kind of in the throes of this whole situation. The Seven of Cups can speak to being overwhelmed, being confused, and really kind of just pondering your options. Where do I go from here? What do I do from here? I'll show you this card. The picturing on the, where Rose is, I mean, you can see that there's overwhelmed. There's a lot of different ideas up here floating around in her head about which direction do I turn. And what I'm getting from that is, at this point in the timeline that I'm reading for, and clearly I'm reading for more than one person, but at this point in the timeline for many of you, you don't even know where to turn, because you're at the point where you don't know who you are, because maybe you neglected yourself so much for this person who really wasn't fully engaged in this dynamic, okay? So going forward, I do see challenges, okay? I see you got the Ace of Pentacles in reverse and the Temperance in reverse, but you've got the Hierophant in the upright, okay? The Temperance in reverse speaks to the need to continue to step on a path of healing, trusting the divine, because the divine reminds you that they're there. With the Hierophant in the upright, that speaks to divine guidance, okay? The Temperance in reverse can speak to being impatient and not fully healing before embarking on another relationship. And the Ace of Pentacles in reverse kind of speaks to attracting someone with less than stellar intentions, okay? That is not really got your best interest at heart, and they're not coming at something with in a fair way. It can also speak to false starts, okay? So what I see from this, and the message and the advice from this thing that I get, is to be very, very cautious that you take enough time to really sort through your emotions, to learn to be patient and trust the divine, and know when your relationship ready versus when you're not, okay? Because if you move too soon and try to go into a new dynamic before you heal from a dynamic that went by the wayside, you're still carrying that energy, okay, of attracting someone who is 1 foot in and 1 foot out, who is maybe not fully engaged, or some sort of other type of false start or relationship failure. And so you want to get yourself vibrationally aligned with relationship success. And one of the key ways of doing that is to make sure you're fully healed. As many of you know, I have the Shadow Work playlist on my channel to help you to get yourself relationship ready, okay? And the Life Preserver playlist is there. There's a lot of useful information there as well. And so really the caveat and the cautionary advice here is don't get in a hurry, okay? Don't get impatient. Don't try to rush this thing, because I would rather myself take a little break as long as I need to, or a long break, whatever the case may be. We're all on different timelines of healing. Instead of staying on a relationship, a hamster wheel of failed relationships where you just keep having repeat. And I mean, I myself had to come to a place where, after being on that hamster wheel for so long, I had to look at the only common denominator being me. And it had nothing to do with me treating people badly. It had everything to do with vibrationally where I was aligned. It had to do with things that are in my subconscious that I was not aware of. And the things in our subconscious, which is our shadow self, literally dictate every experience we have in our life, okay? Whether that is with romance or career or family or friends, okay? So I hope this has helped you guys. And here I've pulled air, water, and fire and earth, and I've pulled Sagittarius and Taurus. We certainly could be dealing with any sign because I have pulled every single sign in the minor arcana. So with that being said, let's move along to storyline number 2. Now, if you want to delve into my tarot deck as far as asking my tarot deck a question, you can certainly do so one and only one way, and that is by following the directions in the description box below my most recent video. All right, so with that, let's go to reading number 2. Reading number 2, we are going to get a vibe check on you as far as romantically, any issues that you may have, anything going on in your life. We're going to pull a spread, and we're going to discuss that at length about things that you may be dealing with. And this one flew out, so we're going to take it. It's a star card, okay? We'll find out more. I'm not going to speak on that too much. It's in the upright, and that certainly is typically a positive card. It's a card of hope and healing and optimism and better days ahead. It's a highly spiritual card, and it does many times represent Aquarius energy. So let's take a look. All right. Okay, so, interesting thing here. Interesting thing. The star came out, as I said. You also have the Fool card, okay, which is about taking a leap of faith, okay? And many times it is a blind leap of faith. Typically, it's an intuitive and wise leap of faith, but it really sometimes doesn't make sense on paper. You have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and the Page of Cups in reverse. The Ace of Swords is in the upright, the Five of Wands in the upright, 10 of Wands in the upright, 7 of Pentacles in the reverse, and the 6 of Cups in the reverse. So, you know what I think? This is very interesting. All right, let's just, and I'm probably going to bounce around with these cards a little bit, but the 10 of Wands is here. Okay, you've been in a tough cycle. Okay, a lot going on. Okay, you may have been around a lot of drama here. The 5 of Wands is here. Okay, where there was a lot of I don't know why, but miscommunication and just fighting, drama, conflict, and certainly could be internal for you as well with this 10 of Wands here. Now, what I think is this. I think for many of you, we are talking about a healing cycle that you have been going through, recovering from some kind of trauma, emotional trauma, heartbreak, something of that nature, okay? And I think you are growing very, very impatient in this process. Fair enough, it happens to all of us as we are going through a recovery stage, okay? But the 7 of Pentacles is here in reverse. The Wheel of Fortune is here in reverse, and I'm going to tell you why. I think you're ready to make a leap of faith. I think you have been in this healing mode with the Star card here, but I think you've been wishing and hoping, that old song back from, I guess it's the 60s, wishing and hoping. Okay, I think you've been in that energy where you've been wishing for something to come along, okay, and yet you've not found anything viable with the Page of Cups in reverse, and this has caused you a lot of turmoil here, and you feel impatient. You may feel like your ships are just never going to come in, but I'm here to tell you, don't get off in your timing with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Don't rush this thing. The timing is not right yet. Are you going to have a victory? Yes, you are. The Ace of Swords is at the very center of this reading. And the 10 of Wands, the reason that I find the 10 of Wands such an encouraging card, it does speak to being overburdened and exhausted, but it also speaks to you, and it speaks to you feeling like you can't go on another step and you're tired and you can't do this focus anymore with regard to the energy work that you're doing and the healing and that sort of thing. But the Ten of Wands says one more push and you've got it. You're closer to the end of this really tough cycle than you realize. That's creating you a lot of conflict and drama and that sort of thing. And guess where you're going to be? The Six of Cups is in reverse. And if you actually look up the meaning of that card on tarot.com, it talks about somebody who has worked through the baggage from the past in a healthy way and is actually ready for the next stage of the game. So I don't think you're ready yet, but I think it's coming, and I think you're closer to it than you think. So get back into that mode and mentality of being patient and trusting your intuition before you make a leap of faith with the Fool card here, okay? You will know, but just make sure that you're fully healed. Make sure that you're not trying to get off timing from the divine, off timing from the universe. Divine timing is so important here. And the Seven of Pentacles is in reverse. That's a card of divine timing. The Wheel of Fortune is in reverse. That speaks to divine timing as well. So I think you're just questioning whether or not your time will ever come. And it will, but you've got to get back into that mode of trust. And sometimes it is just a matter of stepping back into that mode of relaxing, trusting the process, knowing that things are happening when they're supposed to. Don't chase love, attract love. Big difference. And I talk about that a lot in the Law of Attraction, because what you chase will run from you. And right now, where you're aligned, if you were to go out and try to find something at this point, you have the Page of Cups in reverse. That's certainly somebody who is very emotionally immature, unavailable, and very wishy-washy as far as, and just really hardly invested. Okay. And so I don't want to see you get off of divine timing. I want to see you have a victory like this Ace of Swords is talking about. Okay. Triumph over adversity, clarity, intuitive guidance, certainly a win. Okay. And honesty, being honest with yourself about where you are. Okay. And work on, the energy work, the healing, staying optimistic with the Star card here. Okay, so that's what I see. Okay, you've pulled water and earth and fire and air, and you have pulled Aries and Aquarius, but of course you pulled every single zodiac sign in the minor arcana, so we could be, talking to any sign for sure. So that's what I see. All right, so with that being said, if you have a question for my tarot deck specifically, certainly hit me up for a personal reading. One and only one way to do that, okay? And it is by booking a reading by following the directions in the description box below this video. And with that being said, let's go to the third reading. Reading number 3. We are going to do a 9-card spread on what you may be dealing with. And speak to that. Reading number 3. Reading number 3. Reading number 3. Let's see what we can find out. We're going to get a 9-card spread from you. I tell you what, I just got a download like just now. I need to do another past, present, and future for reading number 3. So reading number 3, we're going to do a past, present, and future. And of course, we'll chock this full of advice as well. Past, present, and future. And of course, as you can see, I'm using the Golden Girls deck, okay? So let's take a look. Past, present, and for one more shuffle, okay? One more shuffle it is. One more shuffle. And then we're going to do a past, present, and future. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Your past, present, and future reading. Okay, so the past, 5 of Wands, 6 of Swords, 4 of Cups, current King of Pentacles, 3 of Swords in reverse, and the Page of Pentacles. Going forward, the 4 of Pentacles in reverse, the Devil in reverse, and the 4 of Wands. Okay, well, this is a very interesting reading. Let's talk about it, everybody. All right, so the past. 5 of Wands, 6 of Swords, and the 4 of Cups. The 4 of Cups is many times about dealing with someone who, it can speak to dealing with a rejected love offer, unrequited love, somebody who's really not into you much at all and is dealing with you maybe out of boredom or out, sometimes taking you for granted and that sort of thing. The 5 of Wands is here. That certainly speaks to conflict, can speak to drama, can speak to internal turmoil, okay? And I think for many of you, you were dealing with someone that you were into and they were just not into you. To what degree, I don't know, because obviously we are reading for more than one of you. So take what resonates here. But for whatever reason, this person was very meh about the whole thing. Okay. They just weren't fully into this thing. They weren't giving to it. They weren't, for some of you, they flat out rejected you, but for whatever reason, but for some of you, it was more of they were in a little bit, but it was only because they just didn't have anybody else or they were bored, okay, and they really didn't appreciate all the things that you brought to the table, okay? And so what's interesting, we do have a distance card here with the Six of Swords, okay? Certainly could have been a divorce, a breakup, a change of address, certainly energetic distance, because whoever I'm talking to, the person you dealt with was very distant and really probably non-committal, or at least it was only lip service, okay? But they really didn't do anything to really build anything with you, okay? So, you know, the Six of Swords is about sailing away and moving on and healing, okay? And I think that what this represents, and I'm kind of cheating and looking at the current energies, but I think it doesn't really matter ultimately who walked away from who in the past. I think it has to do with you energetically giving up the fight, realizing that you were fighting the losing battle, and moving on to calmer water and clearer skies, okay? And energetically releasing this person. And I think you're in healing mode right now. I think you're feeling a lot better, or you will be very soon with the Three of Swords in reverse. The King of Pentacles is in the upright, and the Page of Pentacles is in the upright. So you're really getting yourself stable. Okay, you're really getting yourself stable. I think you're getting yourself grounded. I think you're trying to build a solid foundation within yourself to build on as far as something new going forward. But I think I think you're taking your time with this Page of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles here, and really being patient and making damn sure that you've got your ducks in a row inside yourself, okay, before you're embarking onto something else. And the Page of Pentacles was the last card out in the current energy. Pages are messengers. That can represent communication. That may be you communicating with somebody, like something new, or somebody coming and communicating with you, okay? Sometimes it can represent a love offer, but the Pentacles are a slow mover, and I think you're fine with that with this King of Pentacles. The nice thing about the King of Pentacles here that I talked about is you're making, you know, the King of Pentacles is associated with having a higher vision, and I'm describing your energy. I don't care whether you're male or female. I don't read it most of the time. With court cards, I'm not reading gender, I'm reading energy, okay? But I think you're getting to a place where you've got a higher vision, you can see the big picture. It's very important to you to have stability going forward in your life. I think you're tired of this thing where you didn't know where you stood with somebody, and it left you in a lot of turmoil, okay, inside for sure, and a lot of feelings of uncertainty here in the past. And I think you're really getting to a place where you're just, you know, not going to tolerate that kind of thing going forward. You want stability. You want somebody who's dependable. When they tell you they're going to do something, they're going to do it, and they don't tell you something that they're not going to do, okay? Now, going forward, you know, I think you're going to heal a lot of this toxicity. The Devil is in reverse. The Four of Pentacles is in reverse. And I like that because I think what that is telling me is you are letting go and releasing the need to be obsessive with people, the need to be addictive toward people. You're not looking for another person to meet the emotional needs that only you can meet for yourself, which I think is great. And the Four of Wands is here. Wow. Okay. Certainly the 1111 card. It's a card of celebrations. It's a marriage card. It's a blending of families or making a family. It's one of my white picket fence cards, and it is a soul type connection. It's a strong soul connection. And the 1111 card is about being exactly in the right place. So whoever I'm reading for, you're really on a very good path. I think you went through it in the past. I think you moved away from it. I think you released it, or you're going to. I think you're going to heal from it. I think you're going to heal the toxicity here and do the shadow work with this Devil in reverse, and you're going to fully release this thing And you're going to be, and what I'm getting from this Four of Pentacles in reverse is that there's going to be a new sense of freedom about where you are energetically. And I'm not saying you're going to be single. No, I'm predicting a relationship. But in real, healthy love, there is a freedom to be your authentic self, to be who you want to be, and to do what you want to do, and to be supportive and supported back and forth with your partner to be that for each other, okay? And so it's a lack of trying to control somebody and a lack of somebody trying to control you. Okay, so it's a beautiful thing, and it's the mindset of we walk together because we choose to, not because we can't live without each other, but because you make my life better. I mean, would you rather somebody be with you because they can't live without you or because they choose to? Think about it, okay? Think about it. I can't live without you is a very obsessive energy, but I choose to be with you is there's a lot of freedom in that mentality going forward in a romantic connection. So I think you're on a good path. I'm going to give you the zodiac signs that I've pulled, and of course if you have a question for my tarot deck, hit me up for a personal reading by following the directions in the description box below my most recent video. So let me give you the zodiac signs that I've pulled for reading number 3. We've pulled air and water and fire and earth and Capricorn, but of course could be any sign. I have pulled every single zodiac sign in the minor arcana. So with that being said, thank you so much. Hit that like button and let me know any comments that you have about this reading. Thank you all so much.